just sitting here on this Friday afternoon, and I thought maybe I had some thoughts going through my head. I thought maybe I'll just come on live and chat with you guys a little bit. So yeah, man, if you're there, I'm here. So jump on the live, guys. Let me let me know what's going on. I have some things that I
Let me know what's
thought
going
of.
on.
I have some things that I thought of talking about. Just sharing with you a bit of a thought that was going through my head here. Um, I was thinking about the political scene here in Jamaica, and the thing that strikes me the most is the school bus that they're getting for the schools here now for the children, and I'm like, man, what a good idea. So I can remember, like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna hide my age. I'm as old as the independent, Jamaica independence. I'm born 1962. I'm 63 years old now, and you know, growing up, I remember we were walking for miles, man. We walked for miles to go to school barefoot. Sometime, sometime we were a little crepe and over hills and valley, crossing rivers sometimes. And I remember some of the time it got so late that my father had to come and meet us with lantern. That's how late it get when we're going home. Sometimes we feel blessed when some people that know us, if they have a car, they might stop and pick us up. And it's like all seven of us, man, me, my two brothers, and my four sisters. And we're going home from school, and man, God help us, man. Sometimes we have friends, we have some friends who move in the neighborhood, and then we have a little company there too. But we would have wished that we have school bus to take us to school. And I remember when my sisters were going from St. Thomas to Kingston to a high school, and my father had to be reaping coconut every 3 months just to get money to be able to pay their school fee and their bus fare and stuff like that. And all these things going on, he had to go every night. He's gone out late to meet them every morning, get up early to go see them, see them to school, take them to the bus stop. But now the government is doing something about getting school bus to pick up the children, and the fare is cheaper too, yeah? Hey, bless yourself, Bobby dear Bobby. Um, so it's it troubles me when I hear the opposition talk about dismantling. If they get into power, they wouldn't carry out with this school bus thing, because it is a good idea. Let me tell you something. When I was in Canada and I retired, I we don't want to stay home just sitting down. In Canada, most of the people that drive school bus are retired people or single moms that drive school bus. You don't find young people driving, because it doesn't pay much. So the retired people who just bored staying home and want to make a little extra money would go drive school bus. And retired single moms or mothers who are stay home moms, they would drive school bus as well, because it help them out. They can take their kids to school as well and pick them up as well at the same time. So it helped them out. But I remember when the bus company that we're driving for, when they decide to recycle the bus, or when they recycle, replenish the bus, they would send some drivers down to the state to drive the buses that they bought down the state back to Canada. And they never usually buy all brand new bus. Maybe they buy 3 or 4 new bus, but they were all the same refurbished bus that you see Jamaica buy now. They bought those bus from the state, and the drivers would go down and drive them back up. And when they come up, they look brand new, because they were refurbished properly, just like you see these ones coming, and they look so good and everything. So these, and you have several, a lot of different bus company there that was doing that. You know, the government didn't own them. It's private owned, these bus companies. And they had a contract with the school system to drive. Hola, guys. Welcome aboard. Anyway, I'm just talking about the school bus system that Jamaica buying these used buses, refurbished bus, is not a bad thing. It's what everybody does. The school buses companies in Canada does the same thing. They go down to the States and they buy the same refurbished bus. Some of them are 5 years old, some are 10 years old, the same bus they're buying. And you know, why would you want to buy a whole fleet of brand new bus where you can spend your money wisely and buy a whole fleet of refurbished bus that will last you for another 5, 10, 15 years, depending on the condition. Hey, so Jamaicans, when you see these buses here, don't let anybody tell you that they are bad and it's a bad idea. It's a good idea. And at least you know the children are going to be safe. You know, they have monitors on the board, they have onboard camera, they have not just the driver, but they have another person on board as well to see to the safety of the children. The only thing we need to do is pray for them and hope that the drivers are trained properly and that they won't take any risk and any chance of on the road and put the children in any harm's way. And you can hope that the other drivers on the road will respect them. Infinite Music, say hi, bless up. Infinity World. What country is this? This is Jamaica. We're in Jamaica. So, you know, when you see people driving, yeah, I'm in Jamaica. So when you see people driving these buses, they're not bad bus, they're good bus. And if a country like Canada can buy the refurbished bus, it's, you know, why wouldn't Jamaica buy the same refurbished bus? It's a wise idea. It's proper spending. It's smart spending. You know, the money that they used to buy all these refurbished bus could have only buy maybe, if they buy 100 bus, I think 160 bus, I think they said, or something like that. But it wouldn't be able, if they were buying brand new bus, they probably would only be able to buy at least 20 or so in that range. But when you buy the refurbished bus, they're good. You have a lot of years left in them, and they have to make sure they're very the safety is good before they even sell them to other people, or else they get sued. It's not a bad idea. So that's what I was thinking about. I was sitting here thinking about that, and I'm thinking, man, people, you can't be so devoted to a political party that you can't see when they're wrong and see where the others are right. Because I personally wouldn't care if it was a PNP party doing this. I would feel the same way. It's a good idea to buy school buses and put on the road, help the children, take them out. You know, you don't want your kids driving in taxis. You see how these taxi drivers drive, man? You know, they're crazy sometimes. They're rushing to get more passenger all the time. It's not like in America or Canada where when you take a taxi, you're the only person in there. Here in Jamaica, the taxi is like a mini bus system that they stop and pick up passenger along the way. And when they're at the depot, they make sure their taxi is full and sometimes over full before they leave. So your children who's paying half fare, they don't want them in there because they want to have the full fare from the adults. And you know, when you take these other minibuses to take your children, they're doing the same thing. They're overloading the buses, they're packing them in there, and they're racing, they're driving fast because their trips, every trip they can make is more money they make. But when the government get these buses now, these buses have their time to get to school and they have limiters, right? Hey, Simone, how you doing? Happy Friday to you too. Infinite Music. I think I'm familiar with that, but I'm not sure who it is. Infinite Music. Okay. Anyway, just talking about the school bus here that they are getting here in Jamaica, Simone, because I know I heard the opposition saying if they get in power, they would dismantle these things and they would give the parents them some incentive instead, more some money in there per month, maybe $10,000 a month, which is just 10,000 is what, $100, 100 Canadian or something like that per month to compensate for the fare. But this government is giving the buses there, the children are riding, and I think it's there's a small fee, but it's not costly to them. Yeah, they already have the buses here. They have about 100 and some, 114 buses or something like that. And they next week, when it's after the election, the school year open, they'll be they already have the routes mapped out and they have all the thing going and they have the drivers trained and all that ready to go. But the opposition party was talking against it that they are refurbished bus and they shouldn't get them. So that's what I'm talking about here. I'm saying because I was driving school bus in Canada when I retired and wasn't doing anything home. I just go and drive them. Because, as I was saying in the beginning, that it's mostly retired people, single mom or stay-home mom that drive school bus in Canada. And I think so in some case in America too. Um, because it helped the retired people to get a little more money in their pocket and it helped and they have a time on their hands so they can help out a lot with the school system. The single mom, stay home mom, it helped them because they get to stay home and if they have young children going to school, they also drop them off at school and pick them up as well with the bus. So that worked out for them. But most of the buses were always refurbished bus that they bought from the state. And I'm saying if Canada can do it, why not Jamaica? Why are they dissing the program here, saying you get all these old bus? They're not old bus. Yeah, they may be, some of them might be 10 years old, but they're properly serviced and refurbished bus. Yeah, just like in Canada, they're retired people, and some of them are the younger people are usually stay-home moms or single moms that just have to get some extra cash. Yeah, but I was just gonna thinking about these things. I'm thinking, man, sometimes people are so devoted to a political party that they can't see when the other party is doing good. Because personally, I don't care what party is doing this, JLP or PNP. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. You know, people out there don't know how to appreciate things. Yeah, you know what, Simone? The people themselves appreciate it, but it's the opposition party that was talking against it and trying to make it look like it's a bad thing. But it's really thrown off a lot of people, and they're really pushing away a lot of people because people really want it and they see that the bus is good. But these people are trying to make it look like a bad thing, and it's not a bad thing. These are good and they're good refurbished buses. If the government was to use the money that they used to buy these buses, if it was to use them buy brand new buses, they couldn't afford that much. They couldn't have that much. So I'm just saying, some of these people who are devoted to a party line, they have to look at what is being done and be realistic. You know, I was comparing it to some church, because some people go to church, they don't care how the pastor lives, they don't care what the pastor preach, they just committed to that particular religion. And even when they know that the pastor is not a good pastor, is not a good person, or is not preaching the word, or the church is not the truth, preaching the truth, they don't care. You can't convince them of anything else because they're devoted to a religion, not unto God. And I was using an example, I thought of an example of a woman I know once, and she was telling me that she went into a store to buy some lottery ticket because in some Christian religion they think buying lottery is wrong. So she went into the store to buy some lottery ticket, and when she went in there, she saw her pastor came in. So she went and buy something else and walk out and go next door to a different store and go buy her ticket. And I said to her, you respect and revere your pastor more than you revere God, and say, no, 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 that's not true. I said, yes, you do. Because you know the thing is, God knows your heart before you even go into the store. He knows you're gonna buy the ticket. He sees you walk into that store. He know what you're going in there for, but you didn't care whether God know or not. You just worry about whether your pastor know. You can fool your pastor. You can go back to church and pretend that you are a good person and you don't do anything wrong, but not caring whether God see you or not. And so you are more committed and devoted to your pastor more than you are to God. And this is what a lot of people are. They are more committed and devoted to their political party than they are to the country. They don't care about how the political party run the country. They don't care about the policies that they make, if it will affect them and affect other people. They are just committed to that particular party and they will stay with that particular party because they take it as a social group, a society where they feel and they belong to. If not, they don't listen to the message as church people. Some church people, they don't listen to what is being preached. They look at, oh, I have a good pastor, or we have a big church, a lot of people in there, and a big name, and I belong to this church. And that's all. It's just a group thing. It's a social gathering. And that's the same thing with politics. People are committed to a party line, and they like the leader. They don't care about his policies. They don't care about what they're doing. They just know that their party is in power. And it doesn't matter what wrong they do, they don't see it. They don't care. They will suffer under that particular person, but as long as he's in there, they're comfortable. Not knowing that he's living better than they are. Because he's getting good pay to mess up the country that they are living in, and they are meeting hardship, and he's living good. They don't care about that, but as long as their party is in power, as long as that pastor is leading our church, as long as we have a celebrity pastor, we're good. And that's what I'm talking about here, that people have to stop and think for themselves. Stop being such a blind followers of anything. You know, if you, they said, they were saying that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so a lot of people are just followers, not never would be leaders, and they're blind. As he said, the blind lead the blind. So guys, I know we don't have a lot of people in here, but you know, give me some likes still if you like this, if you like what I'm talking about here. You just have Simone so far and two other people that came along. But it's a Friday afternoon and I just sitting here enjoying the cool breeze here on my veranda and looking at the tropical scene out here, man, enjoying the whole scenery. And I thought, man, I'll just do a live. So yeah, guys, give me some thumbs up if you are out there. Let me know what's going on, man. What do you think? I know this is Jamaica, and you might be somewhere in the world. Somebody up here asked me already, what country is this? It's Jamaica, and we have an election going on right now. And the government that is in power now are doing some good things. And I haven't even voted because I don't even have my card yet or anything because I just start coming home. I should be going to get my voter's ID soon, but I won't be able to vote this year anyway. So yeah, man, just do your thing. Yeah. So people, whatever you get involved with, whatever things you do in life, do it for the right purpose. Don't just follow people and follow things blindly. You are accountable and you have a responsibility to make sure that whatever things you're doing, it is for the right purpose and the right reason. Make sure your activities or the things you do in life are purposeful, meaningful, and have a good result to help other people, help one another. Yeah, you know what's more with salt mackerel food? Why are you teasing us with your amazing salt mackerel? Yeah, you know what? It was from yesterday. I was all right, sir. Bless up, neighbor. Yeah, yesterday I went to outside. I decided I'm gonna make some salt mackerel and banana. You see, when I go and cut it, was on yesterday. But I was having some people come over for neighborhood watch group because I'm part of the neighborhood watch group here, and we're having a meeting at my place. But even though we're having a meeting in the gazebo outside, I wasn't sure if the weather gonna be conducive to that. I didn't want it, just in case it start raining, I would have to bring them inside. So I didn't want to cook the mackerel and stuff inside the house, and then the smell would be in the house. So I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna cook the mackerel. I had some stew beef left over from the other day and some roast breadfruit. So I just warmed that up and eat that yesterday evening, last night, and then I leave the mackerel. And this morning I get up and I just jump on it and cook it. You know, at least the mackerel was able to soak out, the salt was able to soak right out, and it was just right, the right taste. You know. So I still haven't eaten the rest of it yet. I still feel full from this morning. I don't eat a lot of food, you know. Sometimes I eat and all right, boss. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. We missed you last night, man. Yeah. But it's my fault. I should have told you, but I forget. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, man. But we'll put in anything anyway. You know, we're just discussing stuff. I'm pretty sure Dean will tell you about it. Yeah. All right, man. Have a good one. Yeah. Yeah, that's my neighbor. Yeah. I love salt mackerel with roast yam. I wish I could eat some now. Oh, I've never had it with roast yam. You mean you cook it up the same way, like we cook it down and then eat with the roast yam? I haven't had the roast yam for ages, man. Ever since I was a little boy. But you know, I should try that sometime. But I know that they have like what a lot of people eat is roast saltfish with roast yam. You know, and I've heard people talk about there's a place in Clarendon when you drive on the highway, the new highway, where you drive off the road and they have a long stall of a lot of people there selling roast saltfish and roast yam and stuff like that. But I've never gone there. We just drive by it and people tell me that's what they do. And yeah, when they were building the highway, they make sure they didn't block those people off, so they make exit there that you can get there and do your stuff. So one day when I'm going through there, I'm gonna have to stop and buy some of that and try it out. Yeah, taste yourself with it. I never made it. I buy it out there. Oh, they roast the yam and put the salt mackerel over it. Okay, okay. So maybe it's the same place. Then you buy that, or maybe they even do that up there too. So I should try it out one time. Yeah, man. Seemed like everybody's at work today. That's why I was actually making a video. I actually made a video talking about the same thing here, and then I thought, well, I'll just do a thing there. I'll do a live. There come my sister, Marie. Hi. Yeah. No, I'm just here talking about the school bus idea about the oh Duke and Trelawney. Yeah, Trelawney is good for is known for yam and all that stuff. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah. The conversation changed because Simone started talking about my mackerel and stuff last night. So we started talking about food instead of what I was talking about. But that's cool. We talk about anything, man. Yeah, she said she love roast yam with the salt mackerel. She bought it in Chilani. No, that's cool. That's cool. You know. I'll just gonna bring them update a little bit on what we're talking about. We were talking about the school bus out here, Ivy, and I was gonna letting people know that when I was driving school bus in Canada, the bus companies, when they were replenishing their buses, getting rid of the old ones, they would send the drivers down to the state. They would buy refurbished bus. They rarely ever buy brand new bus. If they buy brand new bus, it must be about two or three or four of them. But they always get the refurbished bus down in the states, and that's what they drive. And the bus always come out looking so nice and good and everything, and they last a long time. So when people were saying Jamaica buy you whole bus, when the opposition was saying the government buy a whole bus and all that, that's foolishness because it's the same thing the bus companies do in Canada. They go down to the state and buy the refurbished bus. You know, if you're gonna take out money to buy a brand new bus, you know how much it's gonna cost you. You're gonna get maybe one quarter of the buses that you could get with the refurbished, and the refurbished bus will last just as long. So yeah, I was talking about that. I'm saying people have to stop being high-minded and start look at things and be more frugal about how they spend. You can't just get up and spend a lot of money just to look good. You know, and this is a good idea that the government is doing. And I don't care whether it would be paying BR, JLP, any government that is doing this would be doing a good job. My sisters here can tell you, man, that we used to walk miles and miles and miles to school, and we were lucky when we know some people in the area that have vehicle, and they would show sympathy on us and pick us up sometime and give us a ride home. So my sisters, when they were going to school in Kingston, my father would have to get up early in the morning to before daylight and walk with torch and stuff just to get it and lantern to get them to the main street in time before, so they wouldn't miss their bus. And then at night again, he'd back out there with the lantern to meet them to bring them home. And so if we have this kind of bus, if the government have this kind of bus system in those days, they wouldn't have to be so troubled by it because they would have a time that they say, okay, you meet the bus at this spot at this time, and you get there and you guarantee a seat and you guarantee to get to school safely and on time every day. So when the government is doing something, you know, people have to stop looking at party line and stop thinking about party line, stop being so devoted and so blind, and know that it's something good happening and go along with it, you know. Like I said, I don't care if it was the PNP doing this, I would be the same. I would feel the same way about it. It's a good idea, and nobody should talk it down because you know if the big companies, these big bus companies in Canada, could go out and buy refurbished bus, what more Jamaica? You know, it's the same bus that we used to buy there. I remember driving for the school bus there. So, you know, yeah. So no problem, and that was on my mind, and I thought I'll do a live. I actually made a 19-minute video talking about the same thing, but I feel like a live would be a little more, you know, involved. Yep, it's a good idea. It's a good idea, and I hope the Jamaican public understand. And I'm putting this out there for whoever in Jamaica, if they hear this and they know this, that I'm not talking from something that I hear. I'm talking about experience. I used to be a bus driver out there in Canada, and when they were buying new bus, they weren't new bus. They were the same refurbished bus that the company would send the drivers down to the state to drive them back to Canada. And I say when they do buy brand new bus, maybe one, two, or three, or eight, the most five brand new bus. And those were like kept for reserve or for special occasion, not for the regular school routes. So, you know, it's a good idea, and it's not. And people need to understand. Jamaican people need to understand that you have to spend money wisely. And what the government is doing now, it's a great thing. Because I'm looking back, and I'm jealous of these kids now, man, jumping on school bus and going around getting nice bus to into school. You know, not even when I was in Canada, I wasn't even getting right on the school bus. I had to take my regular bus. You know, so it's a good idea, and people need to understand that. And I don't think, I think the opposition should have been saying, hey, you know what? If we get into power, we're gonna even buy more bus. We're gonna take this and take it beyond. Yeah, instead of trying to downplay it. Yeah. Claudette Simone is asking you if any news on your upcoming podcast channel. Claudette is in Canada right now, Simone. She's when she come back out here, she will be doing that. Yeah. So man, it's a good Friday evening and happy Fridays to all the working people who are now feeling a big, great sense of relief because it's Friday evening. When I was working back in Canada, I used to tell people Friday is the best part of the weekend. Friday evening is the best part of the weekend. Why? Because you feel like wow, you have a whole day Saturday. You come home from work and you start to feel like, yeah, man, this is it. You relax, you chill out. Or if you want to go see a movie or you want to go shopping, you and your wife go shopping or something. Even though you come home from work, you don't feel tired anymore. You just want to go out somewhere, do something, do some shopping, come back in, eat some food, maybe ordering some food and throw your foot up and watch TV and enjoy the evening and stay up late and sleep in late Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, you said traveling from Erie Castle to St. Thomas to Crossroad Kingston by public transit was no no way. Yep, I yeah, Grace. I remember those days, man, and I'm pretty sure if you guys had a school bus that runs from say from Erie Castle or say from Bath to Moran and a school bus from Moran Bay to Kingston would be a super. Like how they have the JUTC bus now coming to Morande, we are awesome. But not nowadays, man. We walk miles and miles to school and still get beaten when we're late. And these people are joking, man. After all the things that's going on with their kids now, I'm pretty sure there's no PNP person gonna say that I'm not putting my kids on the bus. You know. Okay, Simone, have a good one. Thanks for coming on. I think you should drive to the store though instead of running. I'm pretty sure you're gonna drive. All right, have a good one. Thanks for coming on. Yes, guys. So we are here, man. And like I say, I'm not talking about I'm not talking any point for no political party. I'm just saying, it's a good idea, and they should just talk about improving instead of dismantling or putting it down. And I'm hoping that those Jamaican people who might watch this podcast will understand that, as I'm saying, I used to drive for bus company in Canada, and they were buying the same refurbished bus from the state. Yeah, take it easy. I wonder, any of you guys ever stop at the yam place in Clarendon and buy roast yam and saltfish and roast saltfish and mackerel and all that stuff? Simone said she had that in Trelawney, in Duke and Trelawney, but I know they're doing it also in Clarendon. When you're passing and you're driving on the new highway, and there's a place there that you can drive off. I have to when next time when I'm going to Kingston or St. Anne's, I'm gonna pull off there and and check it out because I haven't eaten roast yam since I was a kid. And I hear people talk about that the roast yam and the roast saltfish, and now Simone tell me that they do the mackerel as well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. So I know there's a lot of people here, but guys who are those of you guys who are here, give it a thumbs up from your like in the video. Yeah. One day when we're going to St. Anne to visit Claudette, we will pull off there and just buy some yam or something. But give it a like, Grace, or so you won't go there. Give the video a like. Yeah, it's a nice, really nice, quiet Friday evening. It was a pretty quiet day today, man. I was out here for a while and it's like you could hear a pin drop. Everything was just so quiet. I think everybody had gone in, stay inside their house, or they might be out somewhere, but the sun was hot, so nobody want to come out. So yeah, I was sitting here for a while, then I go in, take a nap, and come back out again. I'm not even feeling hungry right now. I think I eating that. I don't normally eat so that kind of a heavy food in the morning. But it's a typical Jamaican breakfast. Like that's what we growing up on. But I get used to sandwich and egg sandwich and stuff like that, and something lighter over the years. So when I cook that this morning and eat it, I feel like I'm full all day now. So I have to wait until later before I eat the rest. Tommy Tim, that's what he eats a lot of that in Montego Bay. That and Marie cooked that a lot for him. So what's up, Ivy? I was gonna call you today, but every time I thought of calling you, I say, "What am I gonna talk about? I don't want to bug you," so I didn't call. That's the outside out there, guys. The grill. That's what I'm looking at out there. Hmm. I am chilling out in McDonald's to relax. What? No, eat McDonald's food, man. I was surprised when I saw you cooking, but that for breakfast. That is beautiful. Yeah, yeah, you like that view, eh? Yeah, you it. Yeah, it's a nice scene. That's why I sit here sometimes. I just keep looking out there, man, and it's so pleasant, relaxing. Sometimes we have a lot of doves sitting on the wire fence, the wire there, the electrical wire across there, and flying up in those trees. And you have a lot of birds and the flowers around here. It's so relaxing, trust me. Yeah, but to be you see sometimes Anne Marie cook we call it there banana and mackerel in the morning time here too. I know you cook your own food, but sometimes you say Anne Marie cook it, so what you can talk about. Yeah, you know what? Because last night, if you notice when I was cutting the banana, yes, it was yesterday evening. I went out to cut the banana. I was gonna make it mackerel, but because I was having people come over, I and although we were having a meeting inside the gazebo, I thought to myself, if it start raining or something go wrong, and I have to bring them inside the house, I don't want the mackerel smell in the house. So I didn't bother to cook it. I had some stew beef left over, and I just warm up that stew beef, and I had some roast bread fruit I fried over. It was a good dinner I had last night. So I leave it for this morning. So this morning I get up and cook it, and I said, oh, you know what? I can make it into two meal anyway. I didn't say eating. I'm just trying to relax since I can't be in my living room now. Oh, okay, okay. Well, you don't have to eat. You can have a coffee or have something to drink, but no food, man. Nah. What area is this? This is St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. Southfield, St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. Yeah, I thought more or less because I remember when we were talking, you were with the grandkids, so I thought you were busy, so I didn't bother to call and bug you, Ivy. Yeah, man, it's a nice day. It's a good feeling. God, sending my support. Your view looks beautiful. Enjoy, crazy, but at the moment, bless up everyone. Yeah, thanks. I thought you love to be around your grandkids, Grace. You run away from them, trying to stay sane. Yeah, sometimes it's just locking up inside the house with kids can be very overwhelming. Cool. You coming down for Christmas? Where are you coming? Where you going to in Jamaica? What area? Hey guys, you guys think I have too much eyebrow? Somebody say I have too much eyebrow. They're too curly. I should trim them. But I can't see them to know if they're too much. If I put my glasses on, I don't see them, and if I take my glasses off, they don't look that much. Ocherias, okay, that's cool. That's my sister live in St. Anne's too. Ocherias, that's cool, man. That's a nice area. A lot of people are from St. Anne's in the Ocherias area too. Oh, you'll be a returning resident. You're coming home. Is that for good or just like a back and forth thing? You're still a returning resident if you're back and forth. You're semi returning. Okay, that's great, man. That's great. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into you one day when I come to St. Anne to visit my sister. In the December year, you know, we can hook up then. Retiring, that's great, man. Awesome. Just like me, I'm retired here. My sister retired too in St. Anne. So who knows, man? We may just meet up there for sure. You and your family or just you? Uh, yeah. I don't know. See, if I take my glasses off like this, I can't see them good enough to trim them, so I might just buzz them right off. And if I put my glasses on, then I can't trim them either, right? So my eyebrow, have thick eyebrows, all right. That's that's the only place in my head I still have black hair. So leave them there. Let people know that I actually want some black hair in my head. Okay, that's great. Is that Beverly? Is the B stand for Beverly? It's the same. I don't know if it's the same person I always talk to. Brenda. Okay, Brenda. Brenda. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've seen you in the chat before. Yeah, and comment in the comment as well. Yeah. Then St. Anne's is really nice. I was before I moved here. I was looking for a place in St. Anne's too, but man, they priced me out of the market there. So God was good in getting me this place here in St. Elizabeth. Because I was looking at St. Anne's and the price I saw. At one point, the houses were going in. I was looking at a gated community and I saw the houses were going for 175 US. And by the time I get around to buy them, they were like 250. I'm like, oh, well, man, there's no way I'm going to buy a house again in a gated community, which I'm glad I didn't because uh, gated community is a little bit too much like foreign. I wanted where I live now is great. Is that you have a huge backyard and it's your own place. You do your own thing, and you don't have to be worried about anybody saying this and that to you or having no regular monthly meeting and all that stuff. And your neighbors watching and saying, "Hey, you can't do this, or you can't burn your garbage here, you can't do that." I do my own thing, man. Everybody here living in this scheme, and people maintain the place properly. The only thing we have right now problem is to get everybody on board to maintain the road. The roadway is pretty good, but it needs some maintenance. Some people are cooperating, but some are not, and you're gonna always find that kind of thing. Okay, be looking for a nice area to settle. Okay, yeah, but it's the closer you get to the tourist area, the more money you're gonna spend down there, Brenda. So if you go up more in the hills or a little more, say 10 minutes or so away from the tourist area, you can get it a little bit more better. No, yeah, the gated communities, it's too it is superficial or artificial. It's too artificial, man. It's not it's a good place to buy a house and use it for Airbnb. It's not a place to really what you want to live. It's kind of boring. Okay, you're renting for a year. That's good. Yeah. The gated community is not safer than anywhere else. You might feel safer, but and people a little more maybe you have a little more scrutiny there, and you have security guard, and some of them are pretty good. But um, there are so many good areas here in Jamaica. Like even where we live here, man, it's so peaceful, it's so clean, it's so pleasant. The people are friendly, and around here too, and you find a lot of community like here everywhere in Jamaica where most returning residents live, and you usually find them pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Well, it can be depending on where you are. Depending on where you are, the gated community can be, but it's just uh, I don't know. It's just not for me. I guess that it's just not for me. When my wife was alive and we were looking for a place in there, she was really adamant against it. She didn't want to go to the gated community at all. Yeah, she wanted to get into a place like that. And when we came here, she loved it. Unfortunately, she's not able to. Yeah. Yeah, it perception. Yeah, yeah. You know what? There is something to say for the safety there. Yeah, you have the security guard there, but you know what? What I find is that nobody is bothering you anywhere you live. You live where you live, man, and you just live peacefully and go about your business. Like with me here, as I was showing you with the camera, if you look out here, you can see my gate. You see the wall around my property there, right? It goes all around, all the way around. And you see the gate. Let me just put by the camera. I thought it was there. Yeah. Okay, you see the gate out there, and it's electronic control. You have a small gate that you lock properly, and we have the grills here. which in the gated community you probably don't have no grills around there, but it doesn't. It gives you the perception of a more safer area, but it's not necessarily safer. It's just wherever you are, man. You know, people. I find that if you're not in some ghetto area or in some bad rundown neighborhood where people are, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. You know, we go for a walk here, man, and we go in all the different neighborhoods. We used to do that 5:30 in the morning, and all you see is people going to work and say hi, they good morning, and they're gone, and that's it. You know, it depends on where you live. If you live in the city, Montego Bay in certain area or Kingston in certain area, you may feel a little more threatened. But I'm telling you, country living is the best. Country living is the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget to bring it back. Yep, it's a good life. Yeah, yeah, it's a nice area, and I'm happy. You know, like I said, my wife didn't want to come to Jamaica, but when she came here and saw the space, she loved it and she was happy. You know, we go out, play domino with our friends in the neighborhood. Even my sister that staying with me, Gracie, she's right on here. Sometimes she's gone to play domino and I got to bed like even level o'clock. You see Grace coming in. You know, safe, you're pretty safe. Yeah, it's a good life. No, it's all like I say, it's all depending on where you are. As I say, if you're living in certain area, it might be, and that's it too. When people say Montego Bay or Kingston, you have people living in Kingston that what we talk about? There's no violence in Kingston. It depends on where you are. You know, it's just like a Toronto. Then there's ghetto area that you don't live, but you can't just say Toronto is bad because there are people living there living really good. Depending on where you are, where you know. So if you're living in a good area, a good town, you don't have to worry about anybody bothering you or anything going on, man. You know, I find that once you live in Jamaica, you get used to the place. You realize that you become relaxed and you're comfortable, and you realize that nobody's after you or trying to sneak around some corner and jump on you or anything. Yeah, you're welcome, Brenda. I'm glad you come aboard too. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm always telling people don't be afraid of by what people said, man. Because hey, listen, me too. When I was coming here, I was a little bit, jittery. You feel a little bit uncomfortable because you hear all these things and you say, okay, the place is peaceful, this is nice, but still gotta be alert. And now I find that you just go about your business. People see you. Good morning. You see, if you watch the early part of this video, the gentleman from the house across that I was showing you there, he's coming out and he's chatting with me a little bit and he's gone. Other people are passing by and waving. And you're good, man. It's just the way life is here. People just chill out and relax. Yeah, exactly. People are afraid of the unknown. Yeah. So eventually when you get used to your surrounding and people know you, nobody's acting strange anymore. You're not acting strange. You don't feel uncomfortable. You just you know how to behave. A lot of time, we as returnees or foreigners, when we come home, we're acting too much like foreign people. I remember when my wife was here and me and her sister went to junction, and I went to the bank, and the two of them was dressing up like crazy, and I'm saying, "Why you guys dressing up so much like you go to church?" And I couldn't convince them to just simple put on a regular clothes and go out. And they dressed up so fancy. And when we get there, they told them when I'm standing against this wall, they're standing there like that. And I looked back and I saw them and I thought, man, I called them. I said, come here. And they come up and I said to them, why don't you guys just hold up a sign and said, look at me, I'm a foreigner. I just come home. I said, everything about you say you're not from here. You're just selling yourself out. You're just giving yourself out like that. If you're scared, what you stand right out in the public there, all dressed up. Look around you. Everybody just in jeans or t-shirt or a piece of shorts or something. And look at you guys. You guys just saying, I'm a foreigner. Just hold up a big card and say it and done. You know, and after that, the two of them come beside me. So whenever we're going again from that time, my wife just dressed regular. Because, sometimes people from foreign just start to dress up so much, man, and make yourself look so obvious. Yeah, it's a good thing, Brenda. You'll enjoy yourself. You'll enjoy yourself. The first little while, you're gonna be a foreigner. You're gonna be, uncomfortable looking around, looking over your shoulder, looking all around, and all fascinated, and you don't understand certain things, and you're asking people this and asking people that, and hey, you know what? And you have scrupulous people that they will tell you a bigger price once they realize that you're not familiar with it. Hey, listen, I spent some money here that I shouldn't have spent. But and that's the way it is. When you get used to the things around you, you start to realize that, hey, you can bargain with people and you can say, somebody quote your price, you say, no, man, I'm not paying that. And if they said, that's the price, you say, okay, you walk away, you go to somebody else. But, yeah, you're going to pay until you get used to the place and know your stuff. Doesn't matter, even if you have somebody else here with you, the other person who is selling you stuff, they know you're a foreigner. They're gonna say, "Come on," and you can only talk them down so far. And especially if you're buying a house, if you're building a house, if you're getting contracted and all that stuff, man, you have to have a second layer of pocket to finance yourself. People are not ripping you off per se. They're thief. It's just the way it is. You go to Mexico, you go to any other country, foreigners get dinged a little bit more. So when you begin to know people now and they begin to realize that you know how things run, they start telling the right price. Yeah. I still remember, every time I remember my wife and her sister, it's like I have to laugh and shake my head, man. I wish she was here to remind her about it. I should have taken a picture of the two of them standing on the wall there, all dressed up like they go to church. Man, I'm just saying to them, it's just junction, man. Relax. We just go to junction. Uh, and I didn't even have a car then, so we were taking a taxi too. That make it even worse. But at least I just get a taxi guy and I said, take me to junction, and they didn't have to be squeezed up with anybody. But we go there and there. And it was almost embarrassing walking with the two of them all dressed up. And I said, man, because I couldn't convince them not to dress up, man. They feel they have to dress up and look so, nice, the long polished nails and the little dangle around their wrist and little this and that, and oh my God. And I was just in my shorts and t-shirt with them, and it's like, relax, guys. Ah, yeah, life is good. Life is good. 59 minutes. See that guy there driving by? He owed me something. I'm gonna have to give him a call. He's, he borrowed some oil from me and motor oil, and he's driving by without stopping by to give it back. I told him, I said, make sure you give it back, man. I said, yeah, man, no problem. There is two hospitals, but they are both about 45 minutes away from, drive away from here. There is one in Mandeville. If you are, oh, in where you are in St. Anne's, I don't know how far, but I know there's the hospital. I don't know where the hospital is. I keep thinking of where I live, but no, yeah, in St. Anne's, I don't know where the hospital is there, but um, if you're in Ocho Rios, I'm pretty sure you get a hospital good in that area. Good. I don't know the area very well out there. Yeah, but in from where I am, okay, yeah, there are two hospitals, one in Black River and one in Mandeville, and those two places are at least 45 minutes drive from where I am. So yeah, and then but you have a health center. Beside that, we have a health center up here in Monroe, which is maybe about 10 minutes drive from here, and so you have in Junction as well. So and you got plus you got private doctors and so on, clinics around. So yeah, you got places that are that too. But if you need to go to the hospital, then it's a 45-minute drive here. Yeah, no problem. No problem. But guys, I try not to go too far over. We are already in an hour here, and I'm gonna end the live here. And I guess whoever is not here can always watch it later on when it's published. So thanks again, guys, for coming aboard. Continue to share the videos and like the videos and tell your friend to tell a friend and your family member, help them to tell them to subscribe and share the videos, man. And again, thanks a lot for continue watching. God bless you all. See you in the next one.